think for the most businesses, the status of PPP now is moving from the procuring it to getting it forgiven. And that's turning out to be, the way it's at least presently constructed, a very complicated process.
Hi, I'm Joshua Carlsen. Today's Ask an Expert segment, I'm going to be sitting down with Kassar, who's a PPP expert and the founder of MultiFunding, a company that's designed to help businesses find the appropriate financing to fit their needs. Today's segment, he's going to be talking about what companies should be focused on who've already taken PPP to make sure that they can secure the loan forgiveness. Now let's get started. Okay, as the founder and CEO of MultiFunding, which is specifically geared to help businesses secure capital, I'm curious if you could share what the current status is of PPP.
I think for the most businesses, the status of PPP now is moving from the procuring it to getting it forgiven. And that's turning out to be, the way it's at least presently constructed, a very complicated process that almost everyone's going to need help from their CPA or advisor to get.
Okay, and that actually was leading into my next question, which is what are some of the things that businesses are going to have to do in order to get that level of forgiveness?
Yeah, you're really going to have to dig into a long and complicated transaction. It is imperative that you keep methodical records of all of your expenses as it relates to payroll, rent, utilities, or interest, and keep very careful records of what you spend the money on. Remember, when you got the loan, that's what you agreed to use it for. And so you need to be prepared to really defend and dot every I and cross every T in your forgiveness application for what you're asking for.
Okay, and so the forgiveness application, it sounds like what that is going to be some sort of interactive online form, but you're going to have to actually provide the documentation to back up what you're inputting.
Going to be a lot of documentation to back it up. It's not going to be easy.
Okay, so if businesses haven't started, they should definitely be looking backwards to get as much as they can now.
Correct. Start putting their heads around it.
Okay. I'm curious just to get your take on how some of these big businesses, such as like the Lakers or Harvard, was able to get some of this funding in the first round. And have they done anything to prevent those larger organizations from, being able to take advantage of this program?
Again, I have a slightly different point of view on that to most people. If you
Okay.
follow the intent of the law, it was designed to give companies an incentive to keep their people on payroll.
Okay.
And not to lay them off, let them go. So I haven't seen it anywhere, but I suspect that after Shake Shack pulled out of that loan for the PR image, they went off and laid off all those people. So those people landed up on the unemployment rolls. So I'm not really sure what it accomplished.
Okay, interesting. Well, I know that they did definitely get a PR boost from that. So it would be curious to see if they've actually, I guess,
I'd
held
like
up
to
on
know.
their own.
I'd like to know what they did with all their people the next day. That's what I'd like.
Right. Okay. Well, then I guess my next question, and obviously you guys are geared for this, but what do businesses do that weren't able to secure PPP? Where can they go to get the help that they otherwise need right now?
I don't think it's an either or. There are programs that even if you secured a PPP, you can still take advantage of. So if there are businesses that did well last year and are doing well this year, and I know a lot aren't, but plenty still are, then you can go and try and take advantage of regular SBA financing. There's also launching this week the Main Street Lending Program, which will give you lots of possibilities and opportunities. So there are new programs to help, but for both of those programs, you really had to have a good year in 2019. And if you didn't, then it's a different story.
Okay. And I guess one of the questions that I have, we're an agency that's focused on helping businesses more efficiently lead generate. What are you guys seeing from lead generation on your side right now as an entity? Have you guys been impacted, or is this actually kind of a swoon for you guys, given what your business is?
Well, for us, this puts us like in the eye of the tiger, right?
Yep.
So suddenly everyone a few weeks ago, everyone suddenly and their uncle and aunt and sister and brother in Uganda wanted to be our best friend.
Right.
Okay. So we're a little bit different, but I know that many businesses aren't that way. But at the same time, for those real entrepreneurs, this is the time to be doubling down and to be taking more risks and trying new things and trying more markets and exploring with new ideas. And we should all be doing that. I know we are.
Okay. And can you share on some of those things, some of those new markets that you guys are looking at?
Yeah, we're testing direct mail now and new campaigns that we weren't doing 3 months ago. We're testing certain LinkedIn advertising mechanisms that we weren't a few months ago. We're going after certain, segments and categories that we weren't a few months ago. So we are adapting our marketing strategies to the times and looking for opportunities. And I call that sort of trying to a growth reboot. And I think every business needs to do that and find mechanisms and tools to do that.
Yeah, I think that one of the studies I came across was a Harvard Business Review, and they actually said, looking at past economic downturns, that a combination of trying to become more cost efficient, but then looking to invest into new markets and new programs was what companies that performed the best actually were focused on. So
yeah, cost efficient is just a piece of it, but that's not a strategy.
Exactly. Okay, well, I'm curious, kind of looking future, what do you see, where do you see things getting to some semblance of normal from an economic standpoint? How long of a runway do you guys are forecasting right now?
I wish I knew.
Any hints? I mean, are you thinking this is going to be a 9 month or 12 month?
I think it's not going to be a straight line up. I think there's going to be hits and misses, and it's going to be 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And there's going to be some great things, and there's going to be some shockers, and it's going to take some time before everything stabilizes again.
Okay.
So I don't think it's going to be like we're going to snap our fingers and the economy is going to be great and humming again in 2 months. I think there's certain dominoes to this thing that we can't all predict right now.
Sure.
And I just think we have to take it day by day, as hard as that is.
Okay. Yeah, patience is definitely it's challenging, but that's what we need to be focused on right now. Okay, so the last thing I love asking people is just, is there anything else you think businesses should be thinking of as we kind of navigate these unprecedented times?
It's really hard, but we have to stop crying over spilled milk. And
Sure.
I have a book out called The Growth Dilemma.
Okay.
And the book's kind of outdated because growth's not a dilemma anymore. Growth's a necessity. Growth, I'm actually starting to call it the growth reboot.
Okay.
And we all need to reboot our growth plans and figure it out. And with all the uncertainty, we have to find like that entrepreneurial flame in us again.
Sure.
Figure out how to move forward.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming on today. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure, and Godspeed.
Thank you.